Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Brett Allen Smith here with ILTV's Morning Briefing.
Reports coming in now of turmoil and violence in the West Bank. Yesterday, Israeli forces clashed with Palestinian rioters as they proceeded to demolish a series of Palestinian homes in East Jerusalem. Mere hours later, in a separate incident, a Palestinian was shot dead after allegedly approaching IDF troops with a knife in hand. This took place at a well-known army checkpoint inside the Palestinian West Bank near the Kiryat Arba settlement. According to the military statement, an IDF soldier immediately neutralized the potential assailant when he saw him approach, killing him on the spot. Witnesses at the scene, however, report a significantly different series of events. One Palestinian man who was allegedly there when the incident took place says that an armed Jewish settler was the one who opened fire on the suspect, a rather different account than the IDF's official statement on the matter. This incident occurred just a few hours after Israeli forces demolished 4 Palestinian homes in the village of Al-Walajah, a village which uniquely straddles the Green Line separating Israel from the Palestinian West Bank. A controversial court decision declared that some of the homes in this village were illegally built and slated them to be evicted and demolished. The Palestinian residents argue that given the village's close proximity to Jerusalem, this is a political effort to wipe out Palestinian presence altogether. Israeli media recently reported that the Jerusalem municipality indeed had begun plans to convert this new territory into a national park. For now, evicted Palestinians say they intend to clean up the rubble and continue living in what's left of their homes, saying that they have nowhere else to go. Well, we've just learned that Iran may be spreading its resources even wider than previously suspected. Word is that the regime's military is transferring a fleet of ballistic missiles to provinces in Iraq. If true, this would put Israel well within striking range. Israeli leaders have addressed the potential threat by promising that Israel could and would launch a preemptive strike anywhere in the world in order to protect itself. The idea of hundreds of ballistics in Iraqi territory is certainly disconcerting, but may not in and of itself be a direct message to Israel. Many believe that it may have more to do with the Iranian-Iraqi-Saudi oil triangle than an outright military affront. Having said that, new reports have just come in mere hours ago suggesting that Iran has been transferring weapons equipment to Hezbollah using ordinary commercial flights. 2 commercial flights from Tehran to Beirut have been linked to weapons smuggling. Both flights were flagged by intelligence teams when they made irregular navigations or even stopovers in central and northern Syria. It's believed that Iranian forces managed to smuggle equipment for weapons plants on these unscheduled 747 flights. Iran has been funding and funneling Hezbollah campaigns in both Lebanon and southern Syria for years now, effectively placing a well-armed proxy army right on Israel's doorstep. Many believe that the relative calm on Israel's northern border may soon be coming to an end, especially with Syrian and Iranian forces soon to siege the final rebel holdout in southern Syria. All sides may indeed be bracing for impact once that dust settles. According to the Military Criminal Investigation Division, 35 IDF soldiers have just been arrested this Sunday, suspected of using and dealing drugs. The investigation was carried out by the Central Unit for Special Investigations Department in conjunction with the Military Advocate General and the police, and the suspected soldiers originate from several various units. Now, this isn't the first such arrests either. Just last month, roughly 70 soldiers were arrested for a range of drug-related issues, and last week, an officer from the IDF Engineering Corps was also detained for smoking cannabis. But following the latest string of arrests, it would seem like the IDF is ramping up its efforts against drug abuse. An IDF statement reads, quote, "This activity is only part of a number of steps being taken by the IDF to enforce the prohibition of drugs among its soldiers and to use the full force of the law to hold to account every soldier who is involved in the trading of drugs or bringing drugs into the army." Israel's new ambassador to Jordan, Amir Weisblad, was received in his new host country this week in the latest example of renewed ties between the two nations. Weisblad presented his credentials to Jordan's King Abdullah II in a ceremony in the capital of Amman after months of meeting with Jordanian ministers. Weisblad has been aiding in the rebuilding of trust between Israel and Jordan following the suspension of ties in July 2017, following an Israeli embassy guard's killing of 2 Jordanian nationals. One was attempting to stab the guard. The other victim, a landlord, caught a bullet unintentionally. But Weisblad seems confident in his new position. He spent 4 years from 2001 until 2005 as a Jordanian embassy spokesman, and after taking up his new role, said, quote, "All in all, this is a good period in Israeli-Jordanian relations. The border with Jordan is a stable and important one," end quote. Well now, in addition to keeping the border secure, Israel and Jordan will still continue to also develop joint economic ventures, geographical resource exploration and use, like at the Dead Sea, and much, much more.
That's all for now. Follow us on Facebook at Israel English News and on Twitter at ILTV News. I'm Brett Allen Smith, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.